know that a lot of people, when TikTok went down, they lost their ever loving minds. What are we going to do? The same thing you would do if you lost a job, right? If you lose a job, what do? You get another job. You get another job. You don't get unemployment, but you knew that. Okay, so it's rant time, y'all. It's rant time. So look. If you're a content creator, you know something. If you are basing your full-time income on content creation and you don't know that you are a contract employee or employed at will, your own boss, your own employer, you have to provide your own insurance. You have to provide your own benefits, your own HR department, even if it's just a party of one. If you don't know that, then you shouldn't be leaving it as your full-time job. If you don't understand, that's basics. How many times do I say YouTube 101? You should know these things. So point is, if people are like, well, as a content creator, let's say a TikToker, as a TikToker, you can't get unemployment like you could if you got let go from a regular job. You could qualify potentially for unemployment and you can get paid while you look for a new job. Okay, so let's just address that really quick. We know as content creators, you know this. You know that you keep all of your money and you're your own boss, you make your own hours, right? And in return, you pay for your own insurance and you don't get unemployment, because you know where unemployment comes from is your company pays for that. Your company, it's not from the government. The government doesn't pay it. Your company pays the government an unemployment fund. So if you qualify, they've already paid into it. At least that's how it worked back in like 10 years ago. So I don't know if that's changed. So, don't quote me on it. But we know this. We know there's literally no benefits. There's no safety net. That's why it's so scary to go full time as a content creator. It's super scary. But here's the thing. If you don't know that, you shouldn't be doing it. So anyone that's saying, well, I make all of that's where my fans are, it's my income. Okay, do something else. Put your eggs in another basket. You should have diversified anyway. If you're that big where you have a full-time income, you should have a backup plan or a secondary plan. That's how that works. Why do you think people have multiple? They have Twitch, they have YouTube, they have TikTok, they have their Instagrams, they have their merch, they have their, communities, their Patreons. Why do you think they have this? Because it's a business, you guys. It's a business. And if you're not treating it like a business, then you're a fool. And I have no sympathy for you. Okay. So we answer to our bosses because they pay unemployment if we get let go, right? So if they don't like your work and you don't want to be there anymore, if they fire you because you aren't doing a good job, well, then you could get unemployment and they're paying for it. So but then you have a boss in the meantime. So back to what I was saying. When TikTok goes down, all of these content creators are throwing tantrums. They're angry. They're like, well, I don't care if they have my information. I don't care. It's about my privacy. I don't care. And it's like, okay, but it's not about you. It's about your millions of followers and your millions of subscribers, right? It's about all of them. And the example you're setting, because people are obviously, we've learned in the last decade, I think that we always knew this, but we just never had it in our face as much. People are dumb. Mob mentality is disgusting. And people will pretty much believe anything you tell them. I mean, really, let's be honest here. Anyway, that was a reel that I posted about giving stupid people the access to the internet where they don't bother researching. They just keep posting stupid shit. But anyway, the fact is they were angry, because that is a main source of income. That is where they got their start. And like, what would I have done if I didn't have TikTok's algorithm? Well, TikTok's algorithm gave them an opportunity because as a non-established creator, they were able to be seen by a larger audience and being, because of the way that works. I think I explained that at some point, how that algorithm works. There's some cool videos on it out there. You should go check it out. I can't remember. If I remember what it is, I'll put it below. But anyway, point is, they're mad. They're mad because, they're on TikTok. They're making sales. They got sponsorships. They got consistent followers. Oh no, I might have to start over. Well, it's the same as if somebody loses their career type job. So someone's in their job for 15 years. They put all this work and time into it. They've gotten promotion after promotion. They're doing really well. And suddenly their employment ends. The company outsources. They downsize your department. They go out of business. Now what? You're going to yell at them? How could you go out of business? How dare you? I make money working for you. How could you go out of business? That's not right. Why are you doing that? It's a little weird, right? Okay. So then they're like, okay, so what do you do? What do you do? you find another job. Well, okay, I'm not saying go find a whole new career. I'm saying take your skills as a content creator and go on a different platform. If you're such an amazing content creator and you're lovable and you have charisma, you should not have a problem getting your foot, getting that started is going to be kind of hard because now everyone's doing it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you should have started your fan base when you had a big fan base on TikTok and told people to also go follow you on these other platforms. So you could have prepared for this kind of shit, especially since it wasn't a surprise. We all knew it was coming for a long time. Anyway, so go get a job, go get a different job, do something different. Oh, no. Oh, no. How dare you tell us to go do something else? We don't do that. We do what we want to do, and how dare they take this away from us, right? So what do? We're going to go on the RedNote. I guess I had to look at the name, the RedNote. The app specifically, I'm going to pull it up because I don't want to get this wrong because it matters. It matters. Sorry. Okay, here it is. That's a long ass explanation. Okay, let's try this. Okay, I see what I wanted to see on here. So, good morning, Sherry. RedNote, also known as, not going to pronounce that. That's not a thing. Not doing that one. Translates to Little Red Book. So, I think it's a play off a Little Black Book, right? Your little black book, your little address book, your book of numbers. Okay. It's a Chinese social media and e-commerce platform that has recently gained popularity among U.S. users, especially amid uncertainties surrounding TikTok's future. This platform allows users to share and discover content related to lifestyle, fashion, travel, and more, fostering a community where individuals can connect and share experiences. Sound familiar? Sounds like social media. Oh, okay. Originally launched, don't care. Young people, cool. Full English and Chinese language support. Got it. Okay. So that's basically what the app's for. In January 2025, here it is. RedNote experienced a significant influx of American users due to the anticipated, thank you for putting that in there, anticipated shutdown of TikTok's U.S. operations. It was anticipated. We all knew it was coming. We thought it was coming way before. So why people were like, oh, how could this happen? Really? Sorry. Like if you had a 4 hit, I would just like, really? Sorry. I'm not sorry. This migration has led to a unique culture exchange between Chinese and American users, with many Americans viewing it as an opportunity to engage with Chinese culture and content. I have something to say about that, by the way. Okay, you can download it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's something that's very important. While RedNote offers a platform for sharing and discovering lifestyle content, it is important to be aware of its content policies, which align with Chinese regulations. Users should familiarize themselves with these guidelines to ensure a positive experience on the platform. In other words, don't get banned. So here's the thing. 2 things. One is, this app is the TikTok for China. Okay? So let's do parallels. You know me. I love my parallels. Like I try and like give it context by saying the same thing, but like putting it as if it was something else and then seeing if the same mentality and the same choices track. Okay? So let's just say that, let me think of one. Let me think of a good one. I just had a brain fart. Did you see that? That was great. Let's just say that I'm trying to do something without like mentioning kids or anything like that. So like, okay. Here's a good one. So let's say that I create an app, right, for my community. And by the way, I'm making this up. For my community of closeted, Orthodox Christian scientists who also believe in Scientology, but like very structured, closed off, communal type living. Okay. So let's say that I created an app for that so we could all talk to each other, considering that we would use social media. Anyway, besides the point. Let's say that it's for my church, my community, and the people in the commune that live in harmony with me. Right? Okay. Let's say it's for us. So then someone from an atheist group, yes, atheist, not anarchist. I was trying to make sure I got the term right. An atheist group comes in and says, you know what? Your app is cool. I'm going to use it. And they come in and they start flooding it with all these things that have nothing to do with the basic message and the purpose of this app. So I'm not saying like the functionality. I'm talking about the content, because some apps and some communities are based on content. If you are a non-swearing PG channel and then someone comes in there and drops every curse word to a kid audience, you're going to be pissed, right? So you're putting what you want onto this app that has been established for a specific region. So does it kind of make sense? Maybe I went off on the rails there, but whatever. So anyway, China makes an app. It is the original. If I'm not, I think it was original. I went through the whole story one time and I can't remember. It was the original TikTok. It's for China. It's for China. It's for them, not us. Because it is specific to the laws and social constructs in China, right? There are things, newsflash, guys, not just you, but people in general, people of the world. Newsflash, not every country is cool with all the things that we're stuck watching on TV and on social media and the immoral, ridiculous, and sometimes downright disgusting and despicable things that we like to laugh and joke and, cheer on. Guess what? A lot of other communities and cultures have no interest in that. And in fact, they're pretty disgusted. They think that it's going to affect their children and their family structures. They think that it's immoral and not okay, and they don't want that in their lives. How dare they, right? Crazy, right? How could they? How could they not think that everything we post out there is just like gold, right? Anyway, so they make this app for their country, and then we go, we can't post everything we want. We're going to take it away. They're going to take it away. They told us for 2 years, but finally we're taking it away. It's going to be gone for a day. I knew that was going to happen. A day. It's going to be gone for a day. Screw you, United States. We're going to RedNote. We're going to China. So they all jump on. They all get on this app. And people in China don't have a lot of you guys notice they don't have a lot of cross communication? There's a reason. They don't have a lot of cross communication between platforms and stuff. It's kind of not okay in their country. We're communist. I had to double check. I didn't want to get my facts wrong. So here's the thing. So suddenly all these Americans get on this app. Somehow it lets them on without, I don't know if they went through a VPN. I don't know how they did it, but they got on there. It allowed them on there. And they're like, oh, I'm getting popular. Well, yeah. These people in China are like, the fuck is this shit? They see all these, look at these fucking dumbass Americans getting on here. It's different. It's interesting. It's not the norm. It's a trend. It went viral. And they're like, okay, well, now we're doing amazing on this app in a day. Oh, yeah, look at me. I think I did the video where it was the chick. That was our representation where she was, what the fuck was she doing? Ew, she was talking about something about a tampon. It was a whole thing. I'm like, this is the representation of the United States. I'm embarrassed on our behalf. Even if they're not embarrassed from themselves, they should be, but they're not. So anyway, they all go to RedNote. They're like, oh, they love us over there. And I'm like, because you're different. And it's different. It's just like when we're watching really pretty cultural things and we're like, this is interesting. But see, the difference is that when we see something from China that's pretty and beautiful and cultural, their culture is thousands of years old, y'all. Not hundreds, thousands of years old, consistent, thousands and thousands. When we see it, we're like, wow, that's really impressive. Wow, that's really cool. When they see us, they're like, damn, that's a fucking shit show. Holy crap. And they're clicking because it's like watching a train wreck. They don't want to look away. And people are like, oh, I'm understanding Chinese. Meow. It is so embarrassing to see them embarrass themselves. Sure, I'm sure some of them are doing spectacular. That's great. I'm sure that they're teaching them all types of recipes and things, all of that stuff. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. The point is that they don't want to come back, which is okay. Cause I'm like, if you're going to go like a lemming and run over there, then you can feel free to stay there. The thing is that they're under Chinese regulations. That app is heavily regulated, is based in China, and it falls under all of their restrictions and their laws. And by signing up for it, you are signing up to abide by that. And people just don't understand it. They don't care. And they just do what they're going to do because what are you going to do? I'm allowed to say what I want. Not in China, you're not. Not in China. That's not how that works. Now, do I think that China's cracked down on them yet? No. Do I think they will? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do I think that they're waiting to see how things play out for a little while before they really go after these people that are disrupting and spilling all of our vile bullshit that they didn't want? Do you think that their political parties want democratic freedom of speech to be squawked from the top of the rooftops while meanwhile showing off all of their genitalia and talking about menstrual cramp? Do they think that that's what they want in their communities and their families with their children to see? No, it's highly regulated over there. Their algorithm's completely different than the United States one. Their algorithm specifically pushes them to see more positive things, and our algorithm pushes us to fall down whatever rabbit hole we're in. So if it's a dark rabbit hole, we're going to see more dark shit. There, it doesn't matter if you're in a dark rabbit hole. It's going to show you happy things to try and perk you up and make you feel better. They don't give a shit about. That's not how it works with us. It's saying, you want to see dark shit? Hold my beer. Just saying. I'm just saying. People are like, oh, it's so amazing. Okay, stay there then. See how that goes. See, this was a month ago. I don't like that. Was it only a month ago that happened? Really? I thought there'd be more on this. I wanted to watch Oompaville, and I think I will. I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to try and go through. If you guys don't know who Oompaville is, well, you're going to see him in a second. This is Oompaville. I like his content, most of it. I don't think that everything he says, I don't agree with everything he says, but I don't agree with everything everybody says. So, you know, it's neither here nor there. Oompaville, if you see this, do not copyright me, please. Thank you. I appreciate you.
TikTok is still around. I'm kind of glad. All right, I'm kind of glad, but I'm also kind of sad. Because RedNote was seeming a little cool. Literal, actual, real-life Chinese propaganda communist app, RedNote, was starting to seem cool to me. Why? I have no idea.
That's kind of crap people are doing. People are like, hey, look, I can rock with the Chinese people. And so they're like appropriating the culture like a motherfucker for a country that is obsessed with culture appropriation. Oh God, don't do that. You know, there was a person in the 1400s that thought of that first, and now you're appropriating theirs. Shut up. All of that, not him, but that clip a second ago, that's appropriating culture. That is literally doing it in front of somebody. It's like going to the French person and going, oui, oui, and you're like, and they're like, the fuck are you doing? That's what this is. Anyway.
Idea. I made this video. I showed you guys some pretty wild stuff. We didn't talk enough about the TikTok ban or RedNote specifically. RedNote is a rabbit hole, the likes of which it's hard to articulate exactly how deep and dark and full of terrors the rabbit hole is.
Okay, so fun fact, some of the things that he was mentioning, if you notice on the screen, it says social credit. So that is, if you guys have ever seen Black Mirror, I think it is, or maybe it was a different show, where they were talking about social credit, where people like or dislike you, and like, if you don't have enough social credit, you can't buy things, like you could starve because your social credit is so low. And so if you don't have like a 10 social credit, that you can't even buy food. And that's just how it works. And so what it's doing is it's trying to force you to behave a specific type of way. And guess what? You're not in charge and you don't have any say in how that point system works. And in fact, somebody can go behind you, and that's what they've said has been happening, is when they have tried the social credit in specific areas in different countries, they have tried social credit. They're beta testing it, whatever. They have officials that you piss them off, they'll just go in there and wipe your credit. It's not like, oh, well, we're not going to give you a loan for a car. They're saying, no, we're going to take away your house because you don't deserve to have a house because we don't like you enough. It's literal. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, this is real shit. And this is the kind of stuff that we're so hypocritical and vapid, and we're so ignorant. We're ignorant. And choosing not to acknowledge some of these things that are happening all over the world. It's are real things that they are testing in real time, and we're letting it happen. Now I'm saying, now we have no business telling China what to do when it comes to their stuff. That's not our place. We need to shut the fuck up about that. It's not our place, but we need to be aware so that we can say, when we start seeing this kind of creep over, which it is, we need to say no. We need to be aware of how it plays out other places. And is this something we would want for ourselves and our children and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Educated decisions, not ignorance. Wild. I know, right?
And let me be real with you guys. I'm the type of guy who knows about rabbit hole. The ban of TikTok was aimed to address national security concerns from the government. That was like the whole thing.
They believe that China, that it's a national security issue. They're using the app to spy on Americans. Also, they're using it to promote Chinese propaganda. There's no hard evidence that's been shown.
Seemed like a big old giant PR stunt now, kind of looking back on it.
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
But it created an unexpected problem, which is the rise of Xiaohongshu, which is RedNote. Literally Mao's secret notebook journal.
I'm just letting that percolate for a second. Say that again.
TikTok.
Literally Mao's secret notebook journal. Do you know who Mao is? Mao Zedong? He's a very well-respected figure.
There is evidence that he was responsible for systematically killing between 4 and 6 million people.
Or whatever. I don't really know. I don't know anything about world leaders. The unintended...
I think I really appreciate him because he plays with his hair as much as I do. He plays with his hair all the time. He plays with his mustache. He brushes it through his hands, through his hair. I do it all the time. I respect it. I'm not mad about it. It doesn't bother me one little bit. I love his take because he goes on all the deep dives I don't have time for. So then I can just watch his content and then I get all the information I need, which is super appreciated. And then I get to hear his input on it and then I get to give my 2 cents. So win-win-win. Win-win.
Intended consequences of the TikTok ban are titillating. Is that a word? Titillating? It's titillating, and it's something that's been talked about for years now. I've talked about it on multiple different occasions, but it only became serious back in 2024 when Congress enacted the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
It's a legislative measure that was aimed.
That's something I think people don't understand. If you guys see this, it's right here on the screen. Sorry. I just thought I would be sneaky and take a bite of my cruller right when I want to say something. So, very funny, Papa. You don't have hair. You have a beard. Under the bill, foreign adversary controlled application is directly or indirectly operated by ByteDance. Okay. You guys understand that ByteDance is the parent company to TikTok, CapCut, and all of those. That's why CapCut disappeared as well. It is ByteDance is from China. That is the original. There's a whole deep dive video. I'll find it and put it down below where it explains. And this is like way before all this happened. When it first came out, why is the TikTok algorithm so amazing? Amazing video, really gets in depth and really explains how that all works. Love it. Anyway, but I just wanted you to know that. See this, so what they're saying, this is saying that the United States government was saying that ByteDance, the company that is above TikTok and CapCut, right? Did you know CapCut is illegal in India? They can't use it for this reason, by the way, for this reason. That's why they cannot use it in India. They can't use it in India because of this, because they're spying. That's what people have told me that live in India, that's the reason that they're not allowed to have it. Anyway, I just wanted you to understand the relation that they're talking about the parent company, not necessarily like that specific app. They're saying that it is bigger than this. And people are like, it's bigger than this, guys. Get with the program. I mean, don't get with, you know what I mean?
Aimed at addressing national security concerns in regard to TikTok, which apparently is controlled by a foreign adversary. It is controlled by a foreign adversary. It's a Chinese asset. But like, I don't pay taxes to China, so.
Chinese asset means it's paid. It is funded by the government of China. Okay. That's all I'm saying. It just is what it is, what it is, what it is. Okay. It's not a privately owned, it's owned by, it says it's a privately held company that has operations in China. It is developed and maintained in China. It means it falls under Chinese regulation. So sure, TikTok is the US app, but it is run out of a company that is based in China, that their entire operations is based in China. Like,
Controlled by a foreign adversary. It's a Chinese asset. But like, I don't pay taxes to China, so like a lot of people don't care. I am like representing everyone when I say, hey man, the Chinese government doesn't have that much impact on my regular life. If you're like the CEO of a corporation, you have trade secrets. If you're involved in the military, the government, or anything like that, obviously don't have TikTok for sure. But if you're just the fucking guy, who cares? Who cares? Ban it on government. I mean, anyways, that's a side note though. The EPIC Act required 2/3 of the House of Representatives to move forward, and on March 13th, 2024, it exceeded that with 352 votes.
during whose administration? Whose administration was this passed under? This was in March 2024.
At all. Only 65 communist sympathizers opposed the bill.
2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without the objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
That comes to 84% of
He changed the
our
soundbite to
representatives in the
boop.
House voting in support of what eventually became the TikTok ban. That didn't actually happen.
It's been whiplash for millions of TikTok users after the app briefly shut down over the weekend, then flipped back on. Now President-elect Trump is vowing to save it, but his options to do that under the law are limited.
But like kind of happened, but like didn't happen, but like kind of happened, but still didn't, or whatever.
Do you notice what it says right there? We are fortunate that President Trump, they made it very, 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 very clear. You can tell me this isn't all done on purpose. Of course it's done on purpose. This is part of all that stuff we were talking about earlier.
Ban talk started back in 2020. President at the time, Trump, announced an executive order addressing the threat posed by TikTok.
First, he indicated that he was going to force ByteDance to divest in the company in the U.S., And then he came right out and said, no, we're going to ban TikTok.
We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok.
The address outlined the risks that are associated with TikTok having unfettered access to the citizens of America's data, and specifically the Chinese Communist Party's access to this data.
TikTok can continue to exist in the United States as long as it's not effectively controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. That is the issue.
Biden rescinded that executive order in 2021 and pardoned 4,000 people in one day. Then he replaced it with his own executive order, specifically disallowing any of his family members to get in trouble for anything ever again. Anyways, he tried to address concerns in regard to TikTok without actually banning the application outright, which is a responsible thing to do. It's a diplomatic thing to do. People love TikTok. By the way, ByteDance and Tencent, the owners and operators of TikTok, proposed changes that they would make to the application as a response to Trump's initial executive order to change it, to make it work better. But the Trump admin declined the changes. And you might be confused because you're...
Okay, so this is all going into like all of that, why it was banned. Let me be very, 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 very clear on my stance. I just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't care why. I don't care about the back and forth. I don't care who started it. I don't care who finished it. I don't care who was in office. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm more concerned about the app itself and what people have found out about the app itself. I'm talking about RedNote because I think we've beaten the TikTok horse to death. I think just a little bit. And the thing is yes, but well, it is spyware basically. Because here's the thing. When you sign up for an app, you sign off on things. And you're like, sure, I agree to all of the user terms and agreements. You sign off on it. You say, yeah, all of my identifying data on this phone verifies that I'm the one that's doing it. Hello, Kushti. You say that, right? And then you agree. Do you read it? Of course you fucking don't. Don't lie. Don't lie. You don't read it. I don't read it. Your mom doesn't read it. Well, maybe my mom reads it. But I'm just saying, nobody reads that shit. We just say, sure, we want to use the app. Get the fuck out of my face. We sign it and we move on. But the problem is that we have informed, because we are not reading it. That's not their fault. That's ours. Informed consent for them to use our data in any way they want. I guarantee you, if you look through those user terms and agreements, it says basically your data is ours. We can do what we want. We can see. And if you go into when I was talking about the algorithm of TikTok, where it tells them how long you click on an app, whether you're looking at your contacts, everything you're doing on your phone, the location, all of these things, and it adds it together to better understand you for your algorithm to show you content that you like. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure that's the reason, because we just want to have the best app ever. Anyway, I'm just saying they're giving you an opportunity to turn it down by not installing the app, and we all agreed to it. We all got the app. Okay, so I don't care. I don't care who started it, who didn't start it. Okay, they went to shut it down because they think that it's doing this type of thing. Whether you agree or disagree doesn't matter in this context and for this video. I don't care. So, skipping over some of this. Sorry, Oompaville. My bad. Actually, I'm going to turn on captions so I can see what he's saying. So that I can skip to the right part. I haven't seen this, so I don't know what the right part is. I said captions, bitch. Okay, so here it looks like he's going into the app. All right, let's start again.
Years banning Biden doesn't like it anymore or something, I'm not sure. He remembered something. He had a
the sound effect
in his mind, and he had a spirit journey, and he realized that, you know, none of his family members were using it or whatever, so he didn't want to pardon it.
Hello.
I don't know, dude. I'm trying to make a stupid joke about him just pardoning everybody. Why are they allowed? Why are people allowed to do that? Why does he have so many pardons? Why are they allowed to bomb children's hospitals too? And they just get away with it?
You guys see why I like his content? I just did that a minute ago.
Personal property taxes?
I just did that. I just stared at the screen.
That's odd. I don't like that very much. I'm joking. I'm being facetious. My videos are all jokes. All jokes. All jokes. All jokes. Do not take this seriously. This is not real.
This video is officially sponsored by Microsoft, Halo, and also Sour Boys. This is the Christmas present my girlfriend got me. You should buy Sour.
Probably as late as 2008. You'd be like, what? Are you sure? What side are you on?
Okay.
Not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
It's just totally.
Wait, what? I missed that.
Or mid Hillary Clinton, and you watch.
Okay, wait. Let's go back.
Progressive politician from the last couple election cycles, Hillary Clinton, and you watch anything she said in the early 2000s or even probably as late as 2008, you'd be like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
But it's magical how we all forget this. We all magically forget all of the things that have been said over the course of these people's careers who have no term limits and who are just there forever and ever, amen, who are influencing law and, you know, making all of these moves and making a shit ton of money doing it. We just forget what they have said publicly multiple times. Suddenly, oh, well, that's not what I was saying this time. And we're all like, oh, okay.
Which side are you on? Who are you?
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
It's just totally meaningless, bro. It's total
Who knew?
whiplash is what it is. It's total whiplash. It's all a big fugazi, or whatever that guy says in that one movie.
Yeah, fugazi, fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist.
The point of this video, though, is turns out while everyone was fighting about TikTok, an unknown competitor was emerging from the shadows, was gaining traction as people prepared for the TikTok ban. It boarded the lifeboats. Where did they go? They didn't evacuate to Reels. Reels is a cesspit. It's a horrible, scary, terrifying cesspit, which I have a lot of really funny shit on that. Let me show you guys my Reels really quick.
I want to see.
Watch this. I tell you what, I have a Reels rabbit hole like you ain't never seen. Look at this monkey. It's pretty much 80% of my Reels. What is that? Ah! Dude! Ah! Who is that little guy? Oh, dude, they get big noses and they go when they get older, like Europeans. Holy f! I wasn't expecting that. Oh yeah, George Bush. He's an enigma, right? George Bush is an an eroding hatred for politicians, especially successful ones that are part of dynastical monarchy. All right, like this guy. But all that aside, he's funny. He's really, and watch your strap. Tink. And then if ICBM crashes into, like, you know, because of weapons of mass destruction or whatever the
This is Oompaville. That, by the way, is wild. Okay, I'm going to do this, and thank you for asking. I'm going to tell you, I wish I could post it, but I don't know if, do I still have this up in the other channel? I might. I do, so give me 2 seconds. I'm going to give you the link to subscribe to him. There you go. There's Oompaville. He's got 5.65 million subscribers. This video has 240,000. It was from 3 weeks ago. You can see it on the screen, obviously. I think he's pretty on point. I don't agree with anything anybody says all the time. There's always going to be hit and misses with me, at least. I love his filler content. Like, I love In the Between. I think he does it very well. I think his editing is on point. I appreciate it. However, for the sake of my video, because I'm going to make this into a video, because why the fuck not? I would like to get to the fucking topic, which is not here. By the way, this is fun fact, guys. This is how you get watch time. This is it. You have a really interesting topic. They don't know what they signed up for, RedNote. And so I go, hey, I want to know something about RedNote. And by the way, I respect Oompaville, so I'm going to watch the video. And I sit through 10 minutes of bullshit of stuff that either I already knew or didn't ask. Because I know at some point he's going to get to the juicy bits that I want in the center, right? I don't want to go to the end because I might miss something because he's super interesting, right? And he gives out some really cool information because he does his research for the most part and he's intelligent. But this is how you get watch time, okay? His edits are epic. I am super jelly, and I would love, if I had the time to sit here and watch people's content instead. I don't watch their content for like how to do content. I watch their content for like how to transition into like filler content or like memes, how, you know, it has to pop up on the screen, or he does the layers where he had his face and then he had his face and then it faded out. That kind of stuff it's inspirational. It gives ideas. Not that I'm going to use it. To be honest, I'm going to go on this video and I'm going to post it on my channel. I probably will do that today. I have 5 notifications. Why do I have 5 notifications? Okay, sorry. Sorry. All right, anyway, let's go back to the video. But yeah, that's how you do it, guys. This is how you get watch time. Watch time is everything. This is creepy as shit, though.
That's so funny. Jolene. Oh. I get it. I understand. How it be when you're can't even read that, but it's funny. RedNote, though, that is the beneficiary of TikTok.
Okay, let's get to this.
Reels, but RedNote, not this cool guy with the broccoli.
I'm doing this for my editing's sake, so I can put a timestamp in my video. Watch, I'm gonna do this. I'm leaving all the rest of it in there, all of my ranting and everything. What is it that I have that's bright colors? Okay. So when I edit my video, I can go right to this spot and make a timestamp so that people can skip right to this if this is all they wanted to see. Okay? And they can skip all of my ranting.
Head, but this guy, all right, with the sparrows, that's
Remember
way
him?
Scarier. This app, by the way, has zero optimization for international audiences. I don't know why it worked so well for people to go to. It's designed for Chinese users. It is designed for Chinese users. The name RedNote, Zhao Hongshu. Let's see.
This 60-second trick will change your life. Meet Pi, a Chrome extension that blocks ads and it's complete. And Pi will act.
Little Red Book. Okay. Now what is Little Red Book? Oh, it's the quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong. Oh.
You know who that is, right?
What are some of his quotes? 1966, Mao Zedong wanted to move away from the gold standard and towards the Yap dollar standard? What does that even mean? Did we edit Wikipedia for the sake of this video? Yes. Just kidding, we didn't. Don't go look at Mao Zedong's Little Red quotation book. But I don't see any quotes. Look at this article headline, though. Over 500,000 TikTok refugees flock to China's RedNote. I get it, right? I get it. It's like a lot of people are kind of disenfranchised.
Bad Wolf, have a good day. If I don't see you, appreciate you being here.
They don't really care. They're just
Kitty, why did you mess with my ads? It read your brain because you're in the chat. Therefore, it knows you. See? We're all puppets on a string. Okay.
Like they want to look at their funny app with their friends and talk and yap, and there's a lot of great content on TikTok, especially now, I feel like. But before it was kind of shit, and I still wanted it around. It's better now, and a lot of people don't care about politics or communism or capitalism. They just don't really give a fuck. They just want to feel listened to and like their life has meaning and value. And like, unfortunately, things like this do cause that. I've seen some old people, which has made me realize that old people are valid, by the way. I love old
Well,
people.
duh.
I've seen some old people who have made posts
If you don't learn from old people, then what the fuck are you doing? You don't deserve to be around them. I don't care if they're an idiot. They've lived and they've seen a lot, especially in the last 100 years. They've seen so much progress and change. So have we.
Posts around the TikTok ban who said that TikTok gave their life meaning, and they never thought that their lives would have
Super sad.
meaning in their advanced age.
But on the flip side, when you break down the family unit and you make people completely self-absorbed and absorbed in their phones and social media and what other people think, they stop caring about their families, stop taking care of their families, and their grandparents and the old people, the elderly people around them don't fucking matter because they're not on the phone clicking the like button and liking their post. I'm a little biased about that, just
They
saying.
never thought that this much meaning would ever come out of their life. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's something for sure. And this is something that has a lot of positive value that can be shared. And people
Okay, we get it. It can have positive value. I get that.
And who cares, right? But there's a rabbit hole here. The ironic part is that we banned TikTok. Ain't no more fellas gonna get on that Chinese app. And then everybody just goes right to the even more Chinese app. To the literal communist Marxist what is it? Not Marxist. What's that book called? What's the Marxist book? The Communist Manifesto. Yeah, it's like the Mao version of that shit. It's like Marcus Aurelius Meditations.
The app is named after the book of quotes from the communist, Mao's, whatever his name was.
But for hungry people, that's a joke. That's a joke. I'm not that obtuse when it comes to communism. So you
He's
got,
very
like, three
smart.
brains here. You got the
Don't let him
emotional
fool you.
brain, which is like, oh, life gives meaning, whatever. Life is short. Who cares if people steal my data? Okay. You got the rational brain. Well, I don't want my data to be captured by Chinese government, nor do I want it to be captured by an onion router. You got two, and then you get the wisdom brain, right? You get the wisdom brain. So we got to cover all sides of this. The cybersecurity community, obviously, expressed significant concerns in regard to the migration, the immigration to RedNote. RedNote, believe it or not,
This is what I wanna hear.
is less safe than TikTok, especially when it comes to the...
What? What did he just say? What did he just say? He did not just say that. I'm shooketh. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming at all. Oh my goodness. Whatever shall we do? Say it again. That's what we're going to do.
Migration, the immigration to RedNote. RedNote, believe it or not, is less safe than TikTok, especially when it comes to the sanctity of your data. Angela Zhang, a professor of law who specializes in Chinese tech regulation, pointed out that data collected by RedNote is more accessible to the Chinese government than TikTok's because while TikTok stores user data outside of China, RedNote does store user data in...
I mean, do we need to say anything else? Anything else? User data. Basically, TikTok was super vulnerable to the data being accessed by China. Okay, in whatever capacity. I'm going to say by China. It could be their government. It could be their, data farming entities. It could be aliens that live there like 3/4 of the year or their whatever. It could be anything. Okay. But if you're on RedNote, you're basically guaranteeing, because it's not being stored on a server here in the United States, it's being stored in China, and they have to comply. Here we go. And I mentioned this earlier, Chinese laws. And by the way, their Chinese laws do not just encompass basic things like ours do. It encompasses what you're allowed to say. They are a communist country. Free speech, not a thing. So
China and must comply with Chinese laws, which allows the request of data from China-based companies such as RedNote. They got some shit in my drafts right now that is definitely against the law. I mean, shit, bud. I'm going to jail when I go to Guangdong. All right, I'm gonna head up to up in the west, and I'm gonna see what happens up there. I'm gonna go right to jail. They're gonna hate me. It is ironic when you look at it from that perspective. We're banning TikTok.
Eve Online is a
my ex used to play this game. It was the most boring thing I'd ever seen in my life.
But then people just go to one that's even less safe because they don't care about the safety aspect. They don't care. The government and the people are not aligned. They never have been, and they never will be. The government attempting to mitigate the potential threat to the American.
I have seen people that literally posted, I don't care if you take my data. In fact, take my data. That's the video that I showed you guys of the person who's like, I'm representing the United States. They really love me. And she's talking about, I would rather suck on a dirty tampon. I'm going to RedNote. Like, what is wrong with you? Anyway. They don't care. No, take my data. It's not about you. It's about your followers, your subscribers, and all these people that super actually want to support you. And no offense, are a little bit ignorant. And they want to follow you anywhere you go. They'll follow you because, they're sheep and lemmings. Let's face it. That's just we've always had sheep and lemmings. We just gave them access to the internet. That's the only difference.
American people had inadvertently caused even more of a threat. Regardless of all that shit, you had folks learning how to speak Mandarin. I spent a month in 2018 learning to speak Mandarin. Nishu Chongguarenma, Nishu Chongguarenma, Nishu Chongguarenma. I don't know. It's like, are you a Chinese person? I am Woshu Megua Ren. I think that means I'm American, I think. And then I say, Nishu Tongchonlin Ma? That means, are you gay or something? I'm not sure. I've forgotten a lot of it. But it's a beautiful language. I would love to
What a great thing to know.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that means common language, I believe.
Their language was not of interest to someone because of work, personal, anything. They decided to go learn an entire language so they could get followers on a social media app.
I remember correctly, which I do. Now, taking an actual look at RedNote, is it a Trojan horse or is it just an earnest, real response to people just wanting to use an app that they can just use? Like, who cares? You can just get in it, man. China app. I didn't really get it. I saw a lot of interesting stuff, but nothing that was really. I don't speak Chinese, which is the main thing, and the Chinese people very much so like filters on their face.
Just want to let you know that this is my real account on RedNote, and
But that didn't stop people from really going en masse. And I went for a little bit. I got on there. I got me a couple videos on there. I got some stuff in the drafts that I'm gonna save.
That
for this
filter was
I'm
wild.
definitely gonna get banned. One of the reasons people didn't go to Reels, because it seems like a more logical choice, even though it's crazy, is that Meta lobbied the U.S. government to force TikTok to be banned to have users join Instagram Reels because Meta's like becoming an.
Did you hear that conspiracy theory?
Something like that. I really don't know. And also,
did you hear that conspiracy theory that basically that Instagram was paying off the government to make them get rid of TikTok so that they could get back the users? Now, I would think that would be YouTube, considering how far they're trying to push the shorts right now, and they're not doing that great. Anyway, I've heard of that.
They love, lobbying and passing laws and agreeing on stuff, and then as a result of that, reaping the benefits in the private sector. Congress loves doing that.
So in early 2024, Meta shot out a record-breaking $7.6 million in just 3 months to influence lawmakers. But instead of naming TikTok outright, Meta used China as a cover for its lobbying efforts. The company worked with well-connected lobbyists to push a TikTok ban bill, which forces TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, to divest from the app or face a ban in the United States.
And, I'm not really sure if I'm as much worried about my data going to the Chinese government as I'm worried about my representatives in government. Quite literally us with broomsticks on a consistent incessant, never-ending basis. I don't know which one's worse. So it's like you stick it to the man, but you play yourself. You play yourself. You straight up play yourself.
I mean, that's valid.
Started blowing up. A lot of Chinese folk were criticizing English people for not, translating or adding, what are they called, subtitles to their videos so they can understand and see, and so we could all get along. I saw some.
How dare any other country not speak English? Now, mind you, most of the other countries do speak English. We're the ones that don't speak the other languages. And I'm not saying we as in you specifically. I'm saying in general as a consensus. Most other countries do tend to speak English as well as their native language. But how dare you ask an American to translate into your language? Like, are you kidding me? We are the country of please come here and bring all of your culture with you and then shit on whatever's already here. Take it over, please. And we're trying to push that into other countries. You think they're not going to push back? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break.
Some really cool stuff. All jokes aside, like the Jordan Peele impersonator. He looks so much like Jordan Peele. That's crazy. Duolingo saw a massive spike. Chinese users are welcoming Americans. It seems like there's a lot of, positivity out there.
You will be heading back to your hometown TikTok. I admit, I'm a little bit sad, but I get it. Life is all about those encounters and reunions. If you decide to leave, may you leave with happiness in your heart.
There's a genuine cultural exchange, which I like that part. All the security aspects aside, I really like the idea of two different cultures that.
You mean Americans got their heads out of their asses and actually tried to figure out something about another culture? What? Who knew that we could do that? It's wild that it took something like this for people to take an interest in something outside of their own personal bubble. I am so biased about this. I'm so irritated by this. I'm so irritated by this because they did it for the wrong reasons. It just pisses me off. And I understand that a couple people, I'm not saying a couple, I'm saying like a group of people were going to get something positive out of this experience of having all these Americans come in and just shove all of their whatever in their face and vice versa. But for the majority of it, they were just doing it for their own selfish fucking reasons. And it irritates me.
That know essentially nothing about each other aside from what they've been fed by their governments. But it's nice seeing there's some boundaries of culture being crossed. I did like that. That was cool. All that being said, it seems like there is still a massive lack of visibility in content. Like,
did I just crash? Probably. Let's see. No, I'm still up. My internet's fine. Cartman. Okay, that worked. You know what? I think that was perfect timing anyway. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think that it pretty much it didn't quite go into what I was hoping it would go into, which would have been more of the impact of the influx of American influencers and content creators that are pushing their content into a culture they don't understand or appreciate and demanding attention and, all of these things and demanding monetization and everything. Do you even know that there's a currency exchange? Like, did you guys understand that? Just curious. Asking for a friend. Anyway, that's kind of what I was hoping more for. Maybe I can find a video. If you guys know a video, let me know and I will get into that one. I really liked getting into the nitty gritty of, I love sociology. So I love to know the impact of why people do the things they do. So we know why they went to RedNote. They're like, you're taking away TikTok and I don't like it. That's why. That's why they're going. I might lose my income because I didn't diversify ahead of time. So now I got to find something else so I can make money. Okay. So they went to RedNote. I don't care about data. Take my data. I don't care. Take it all. Right. They're like, take everything. We don't care. It's fine. We don't mind. Right. Cool. So they go over to RedNote and then they like, I'm learning Mandarin. I'm pronouncing horribly and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm just putting my content in another country, in another culture with no context. I want to know how the Chinese people thought. I'm not talking about the people that are like, thank you for being here. You're amazing and you're wonderful. I hope you have a happy life. I'm talking about the people who are like, who the fuck are you guys? And why are my children seeing American culture, which I have protected them from because it's wild and I don't agree with it? Unpopular question. What about the people that are all in with the Chinese Communist Party? Like, they're like, our government is amazing. Our country is the best. How dares you? Like, what about them? What do they think? What do they think about the content that's coming over that is just American as fuck? Let's just say that. I'm curious. Anyway, if you guys run into anything that has to do with anything about that, let me know. I would love to, if I can remember, and if I find the time, I'm going to go find more like this. Thank you, Oompoville. That was a good video. I mean, he always has good videos. They all have great edits. They have great filler content. They have good subject. They cover a wide range. Like, he doesn't just hyper focus on one tiny little bit. But see, I'm one of those people that I want him to hyper focus on that tiny little bit because it's all I have time for. Still, I love his videos. Go check him out. Go subscribe to him. I'll put the link. I did put it in the chat, but I'll put the link to that video and then to his channel just because he deserves it. Not like he needs it. My, like, 7 people. I'm kidding. Not like he needs me. But still, you know, if somebody hasn't seen a good content creator, I am happy to show them to someone else and say, look, you don't take it from me. Go watch it yourself. Go check out his content. It's cool. Anyway,